Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the financial secrets that build empires, and sometimes, well, they just make for a good story. Today we're unraveling a deal that promises to shake up Performant healthcare. This is essentially a report about a company called Performant Healthcare, and it's all about a big important agreement they've entered into. It's like a headline announcement for a major life event in the corporate world. So the core of this report is the announcement that Performant Healthcare has agreed to be bought. Think of it as a company getting acquired or merging with another entity. The buyer is a company called Continental Buyer Eng, which is backed by McKinney, a group associated with New Mountain Capital. This isn't just a small handshake deal, it's a formal agreement and plan of merger. What does this merger actually mean for the everyday shareholders? Well, if everything goes according to plan, each share of Performant Healthcare's common stock will be bought out for a cool $7.75 in cash. This is a pretty straightforward all-cash deal, which usually means a clean exit for investors. No funny business with exchanging stock for stock. Now, what about employees who have stock options or other bonus-like awards? The report details how these will be handled. For outstanding stock options, they'll be cashed out based on the difference between the deal price and the option strike price. Restricted stock units, whether they're tied to time or performance, will also be converted into cash payments. For the performance-based ones, they'll be considered met at 100% of the target, which is a pretty sweet deal for those employees. Of course, deals like this don't just happen overnight, there are conditions. The big ones include getting approval from performance shareholders, which is pretty standard. They also need to clear regulatory hurdles, particularly related to antitrust laws. That means making sure the merger doesn't create a monopoly that could harm competition. Both companies have agreed to cooperate on this, and they'll be filing paperwork to get government clearances, especially under something called the Hart-Scott-Rodino Antitrust Improvements Act. This just ensures fair play in the market. There are also what are called non-solicitation covenants. This means Performant can't go around looking for better offers from other buyers or even talk to other potential buyers unless it's a really exceptional situation. The board can consider other proposals if they believe it's in the best interest of shareholders and if those proposals are significantly better than the current deal. But even then, there are strict rules and timelines they have to follow. When can this deal fall apart? The agreement gives both Performant and the buyer reasons to walk away. If the deal isn't finalized by January 31, 2026, with a possible 3-month extension, it can be terminated. If a court issues an order that stops the merger, or if Performance shareholders don't approve it, that's another way it can be called off. The buyer can also terminate if Performance board changes its recommendation to approve the deal, or if Performant agrees to a better offer from another party. And if Performant breaks the deal under certain circumstances, they might have to pay a hefty termination fee of almost $20 million. That's a serious penalty, showing how committed they are to this particular transaction, or at least the consequences if they back out for the wrong reasons. How is this deal being paid for? The buyer has secured the necessary financing from financial institutions. This report mentions they got debt commitments, which means they've lined up loans to fund the acquisition. Performant is also cooperating with the buyer on this financing, which is typical. On the same day they approved the merger deal, July 31, 2025, the company's board of directors approved what are called success bonuses for certain employees. These are essentially bonuses that get paid out if a change in control happens, which is exactly what this merger is. Two of the top executives, Simeon Cole, the CEO, and Rohit Ramchandani, the CFO, are eligible for these bonuses. Their bonuses will be calculated based on their base salary plus a performance-based amount. For Simeon Cole, his base is $400,000, and for Rohit Ramchandani, it's $356,256, so Santu, $56,002, $56,000 as target bonus. For Simeon Cole, his base is $400,000, and for Rohit Ramchandani, it's $356,250,000. Those in dollar hit, it's an additional 230% of their target bonus. For Simeon Cole, Rohit Ramchandani, it's $350,000. The performance part can add a significant amount up to $15,000. The performance part can add a significant amount up to 150% of their target bonus. For Simeon, that's an extra $400,000, and for Rohit Ramchandani, it's $1,000 hit, it's an additional $30,000. The performance part can add a significant amount up to 50% of their target bonus. For Simeon, that's an extra $400,000. To get the word out, Performant Healthcare issued a press release on August 1, 2025, announcing this merger agreement. This is pretty standard practice to keep investors informed. They also tell investors where to get more information. This includes the SEC website and Performant's own website. When a deal like this is happening, companies usually file more documents with the SEC, like a proxy statement. This document is crucial for shareholders because it will detail everything they need to know to vote on the merger. They urge investors to read these documents carefully once they become available, especially the proxy statement, as it will contain vital information. They also mention that their own directors and key officers might be considered participant in asking shareholders to vote for the deal. This is just a legal disclosure to ensure transparency about who is encouraging shareholders to approve the transaction. They refer back to their annual meeting proxy statement for details on their directors and officers' holdings and say that any changes will be updated. Like most companies, Performant includes a section on forward-looking statements. These are basically predictions about the future, like expectations and intentions. They're saying that while they believe these predictions are reasonable now, actual results could be very different due to various risks and uncertainties. They list potential problems like the merger not closing on time, failure to meet conditions, shareholder disapproval, or unexpected costs. Essentially, it's a disclaimer to protect themselves if things don't go exactly as planned. They specifically mention risks like the impact of the announcement on business relationships, retaining key employees, and potential litigation. It's important to remember that these statements are based on what they know today and can change. Finally, under item number 1, they list the exhibits filed with this report. The most important one is the actual agreement and plan of merger itself. They also filed the press release we just talked about, and then there's the exhibit index, which lists these documents formally. They also mentioned that some of the detailed schedules and exhibits to the merger agreement are not included, but they will provide them to the SEC if requested. And the report is signed off by Rohit Ramchandani, the Chief Financial Officer on behalf of Performant Financial Corporation, dated August 1st, 2025. So, what's the overall picture here? Performant Healthcare is being acquired in a straightforward cash deal at 75 cents per share. This seems like a solid exit for shareholders and a good payday for executives with bonus plans. The deal has standard conditions including shareholder approval and regulatory review. The company is also putting safeguards in place like termination fees to ensure the deal moves forward. From a shareholder perspective, this is generally good news. A cash offer removes market volatility and provides a definitive exit. The $7.75 price needs to be compared to Performance stock price before this announcement to see if it's a premium, but in most acquisitions that's the aim. The success bonuses for the CEO and CFO show alignment of their interests with the deal closing, which can be a positive signal. However, there are always risks. The biggest ones are always regulatory approval and shareholder buy-in. If either of those falters, the deal could unravel and Performant might even owe a significant breakup fee. The forward-looking statements also highlight that the company itself acknowledges many potential headwinds. Their reliance on debt financing for the acquisition also means the buyer's financial health and ability to secure that debt are crucial. Looking at the broader context, the healthcare industry is always ripe for consolidation. Companies are looking for scale, efficiency, and specialized capabilities. Machinify, being backed by New Mountain Capital, likely sees strategic value in acquiring Performant, possibly to integrate it into its existing portfolio or to create a more dominant player in a specific segment of healthcare services. In conclusion, this filing is a clear signal that Performant Healthcare is on the path to being acquired. The terms seem fair on the surface, offering a clean cash exit. The key now is to watch for those shareholder and regulatory approvals. If they go through smoothly, it's a win for Performance investors and leadership. Keep an eye on those filings, especially the proxy statement, for the full details on how to vote. What's your take on this acquisition? Do you think $7.75 is a fair price, and what are your predictions for Performance future under Machinify? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more corporate investigations. Don't forget to join our Discord community in the description. It's a great place to discuss these deals and share insights. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next decoding.